into the final thoughts. Just right off the bat, look, I got some dude on TikTok with hair, just a reporter I've never heard of. He runs social for Barstool. Apparently went on social media and claimed that Mykel Williams is set to hit the portal. He said it like it was fact. This dude reports this on TikTok, and now everybody's going nuts that Mykel Williams is supposed to be hitting the portal. I ain't heard none of this. Ain't thought of none of this. Reached around and called around, talked to people, reached out to people today. No, not anything I've heard about. All right, strictly rumors, strictly nonsensical rumors. Nothing warranted there. That being said, I promise you right now, if you are a starting football player at a Power 5 school, period, point blank, hard stop, you are getting phone calls and you are attempting to get it poached by football teams that need help. You know who one of those is? USC. So does USC have the assets to call a football player that they had the assets to swindle into a commitment originally out of high school? Probably. Does that mean you should be going to Twitter and freaking the hell out right now? No. And that damn sure shouldn't mean you should be going to Twitter right now and doing any type of blaspheming towards the name of Mykel Williams. You're a terrible person. Any thoughts, boys?
Look, it's just that time of the year, it's kind of gotten into this routine of the college football season where once conference championship games wrap up, transfer portal news starts to happen. I mean, heck, it even happens before conference championship games. And the best thing you can do is you can just sit around and wait until it officially happens. Other than that, you're just going to drive yourself crazy because you're never going to know what's actually going to happen until it is officially announced.
We have a hard rule. Like, we do not do any of the speculatory stuff. We don't do these are the names we think are going to go. This is what we think might happen. No, we prepare ourselves in our back channels and say, we talk and say, this is what we need to be prepared for. This is what we think might happen. These are the names that we've kind of been led to believe might. And here's the reason why I never believe you should be going to your message boards. You should be going to your YouTube channel. You should be going anywhere and doing we think so-and-so might hit the portal before so-and-so does hit the portal. Because these are active negotiations nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. How this works. Player X gets contacted by school Y, all right? While he's at his current school. School Y says, hey, baby, we can promise you all this, dog. We're going to get it to you. We're going to make sure it happens. Player X goes into coach's office and says, Coach, this is what's happening. This is what's happening right now. And then we are in this active negotiation process. So this is a prime example. This happened to Amarius Mims, right? Amarius Mims went in, came back out. But you know how many times Amarius Mims or guys like Broderick Jones or really, really good football players at the University of Georgia who weren't getting immediate run or weren't getting starting playing time, you know how many times those guys get attempted to be poached? If we did this every single time, if we did the speculative journalism, you'd lose your mind like you are right now. Everybody's losing their mind. Is this player going to go? Is Marvin Jones going to go? Is Mykel Williams going to go? Ooh, what's going to happen here? Calm down. Calm down, take a breath. I don't like you said, I don't think there's any reason to be out here losing your mental health or losing your sanctity over what a 20-year-old may or may not do. Okay, just hang on. All right, that's all I got to say about that.
I mean, you pretty much hit the nail on the head right there. Plus, Georgia, for the most part, has done a pretty good job of retending their roster and keeping their core value players. Now, of course, still, some things are going to happen. Players are going to leave and go. That's just the nature of college football now. But for the most part, you really don't have to worry about too much happening for Georgia.
Yeah, you're one day down. I mean, it's 9 o'clock. Something else could happen right now. But it's been Darius Smith. It's been our guy Jonathan Jefferson. It's been Jackson Meeks, and it's been Austin Blaschke.
And C.J. Madden.
All 5 names that, A, were not in contention for immediate playing time, and B, I mean, they're going to have to go somewhere else to play, right? That's kind of the obvious signs right there for a lot of those people. I mean, maybe Jackson Meeks, depending on what happens with the draft-eligible wide receivers, is a football player in that list that you might have been depending upon next year. Austin Blaschke, maybe. But even him this year, right? As soon as Xavier Truss went down, not only was Xavier Truss the 3rd tackle, you would think Austin Blaschke might be the 4th. No, they went to Monroe Freeling, making Austin Blaschke the 5th tackle. Okay, so hold on to your horses. I don't think it's necessarily time to panic. Oh, obviously Brock Vandergriff as well. So that was a name that I don't think a lot of people expected him to hit the portal if Carson Beck decided to come back to the University of Georgia. We don't have an official word on that, but this seems like good inclination that that's probably going to happen, right?
Yeah, I feel like Brock doesn't make this decision without having at least some idea of what Carson Beck's going to do, and that kind of leans towards the fact that Carson Beck's going to be coming back next year.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. Just seems pretty obvious in my opinion.
And we haven't gotten official word on that, but the official word that I'm getting now is this hard and fast new rule that NFL evaluators are going on. And it's this 25 starts theory. Okay, this idea that you need 25 starts in college to be deemed, your chances of reaching your second contract drastically increase once you hit that 25 start mark. And that's something that he will reach next year, presuming he obviously plays in the bowl game this year, that being Carson Beck. So basically the news today obviously points into the direction of Carson Beck returning. The immediate reactions, the immediate thought process, and then a spin would be where might Brock Vandergriff land. A lot of rumors and innuendo that he's going to end up at Kentucky, which is fine. I always thought he should go to Auburn.
Yeah,
I always thought he would look perfect in Humphreys' system. That would have been the decision that if I was Agent Brooks, if we were putting the hat on or if we were putting the suit on and we were getting nice and slimy, okay, even more hair gel in the hair, we'd be going to Auburn. And we'd be on the plains really, really quickly and beating out whatever they think is their quarterback right now.
I kind of said that maybe FSU could have been a player. I kind of like the idea of Brock Vandergriff being in the FSU offense, and that's a program that's on the up and coming, could probably have some success there. I know they lose
Very
some guys.
Jordan Travisy.
Yeah, for sure. So I kind of floated that. That's my own idea. At least that's what I kind of thought of when he hit the portal.
Yeah, I think Auburn is the right destination. I saw somewhere on Twitter today people were saying Georgia Southern. Like
that was months ago.
Yeah.
People. This is what I'm saying. This is one of those things. This is why we don't do the speculative, okay? Because I think like in August or in February, people were talking about the Georgia Southern stuff, and I thought that was absolutely out of this world. So yeah. I think if I were Carson or if I were Brock Vandergriff's agent, I'd be saying, hey, you look a whole lot like Mykel Williams in that system if you go play in that system. And you would be supreme Mykel Williams. You'd be 6'3", 225, throwing the ball 85 yards, okay, and in the air and taking off running whenever green grass was made available. So that covers us from the transfer portal end from the Georgia side. I don't think it's done. Okay, I don't know how many more names you're going to see, but I definitely don't think you're quite done in terms of with regards to activity. Do we have any other Georgia-related transfer portal topics that we need to talk about or hit on?
I mean, you could talk about guys in the national scene that Georgia might try to dip their toe in and getting.
Which is where we were going to head into next with regards to the national names that entered the portal today. Some guys that Georgia used to recruit, like Evan Stewart, Walter Nolan, and football players like that. And we don't know what's going to happen with Shamar Stewart. I mentioned today on Twitter, if Shamar Stewart enters the portal, that is the most intriguing football player available, by far, hands down. I thought he was the best front four defensive player I evaluated all year. So if that guy hits the portal, I'd be heavily active in that one. But it's the wide receiver, London Humphreys from Vanderbilt, that immediately – Kirby started talking about all these guys like as soon as they come to me and tell me that they're hitting the portal, they almost always know exactly where they're going to go. Very similar to what Brock Vandergriff happened today. We hear he's hitting the portal. We hear he's probably going to Kentucky. As soon as London Humphreys hit the portal, it was like, oh, Georgia. Georgia. So 6'3", 195 pounds, former 3-star recruit, and took one the distance against Georgia this year. So how about that?
Yeah. Kirby loves these 3 stars and just developing them into absolute dogs.
The Discord fell for it. They were like, ooh, a potential Ladd McConkey replacement. Ladies and gentlemen, my man's is 6'3". My man's is 6'3".
That's an A.D. Mitchell replacement.
Yeah, he was a freshman All-American. This is outside the numbers receiver. This is a traitsy football player at 6'3". AJ Will?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a big-time guy that definitely doesn't strike – like, you can't do the thing of what we were talking about last week.
Oh, no, but it'll happen. It happened very quickly. It happened like that as soon as it happened in the chat.
And especially doesn't help that I think the touchdown that he did score against Georgia was him in the slot and typically in a spot that Ladd McConkey would probably be in. But, no, this is a guy that you're going to be putting on the outside and provides a different type of skill set, but still the speed necessary to compete at the SEC level. But a good player, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely someone that I think Georgia should pursue. It looks like, based on what he did against you, that he can play good SEC ball. So
Yeah, and over 400 yards receiving as a true freshman this year. Will have 3 years of eligibility remaining. So
400 yards receiving on a Vanderbilt team is very impressive. That's 800 yards.
And he
on
was
any other
I mean, he
team.
was the third target too. Because I mean, this is Will Shepherd. They had a slot receiver that they really liked as well.
Yeah.
This guy got burned as a true freshman and had an ability to like really, really get after it and be explosive after the catch as well, which is something that Georgia will need. You would imagine moving forward. So I don't know who else is in play for him, but like I said, these things seem to be relatively wrapped up. Now a lot of people will say, why didn't they go after the Will Shepherd guy? Why are they going after? First of all, 3 years of eligibility, main thing. The other thing, I think Will Shepherd going to be real expensive.
Yeah.
I think Will Shepherd's like one of the better wide receivers that's going to be available in the portal this year.